Okay, now we're over here with the Bullex Fire Extinguisher Training Simulator. This system consists of a realistic fire extinguisher along with a screen that will project a realistic looking fire on the screen, and you can shoot this extinguisher out and put out a simulated fire on the screen. This system is very good because it's a safe alternative to using a live fire. You don't have to set anything on fire to use this. The fire looks realistic on the screen, and you actually, as you squirt the fire with the simulated fire extinguisher, it'll actually go out. How this works is this fire extinguisher is specially designed for the Bullex system. It is a laser fire extinguisher. It has the look and feel of a 5-pound ABC fire extinguisher. It has all metal parts. The actual bottle, simulated bottle, is metal, and it has the same weight as the fire extinguisher. And it also has a hose, just like a regular fire extinguisher, a pin that you can pull, trigger mechanism, and a little nozzle, just like a regular fire extinguisher. Now, to use the Bullex fire extinguishing system, well, I'll go back. You can also use a Class A water pan on this fire extinguisher simulator. You like to use it that much because then you have to dry off the simulator before you put it back in the box. It has a carrying case that comes with it. So let's do a couple little demonstrations to show you exactly how to use a fire extinguisher. What I'm going to do is, and we'll talk about this later on in the program, some of the codes and standards that deal with how to mount the fire extinguishers. So we're going to simulate that this fire extinguisher is hanging on the wall. And so I'm going to put it on the table here beside my camera. And how this system works is it comes with a little control module that has different settings, and it has a button here to turn on the fire. And what happens is, once you set it, and once you get the fire extinguisher ready, you can actually time yourself and see how fast you are. So let's plug it in and see how we do. Little screen comes up. What I want to do before I actually try to put a fire out, I'll show you what it looks like when you're actually using the system. So I hit the button, and you hear the beep, and now you see the fire. It really looks like a real fire. It almost looks like the classroom here is on fire, but it's not. It's just a simulated the fire on the Bullex system. And once you put the fire out, it actually, I'll demonstrate. Once you put the fire out, or as you use the simulator, it actually will put the fire out. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but there's 4 little dots at the bottom. That simulates the seat or the base of the fire. So when I hit the extinguisher, it also has a realistic sound and noise that lets you know that it sounds like it's squirting out the dry chemical. So I pulled my pin out, and let's try it. I think I put it out. Let's see how fast I did. As we were demonstrating, the time was going the whole time the fire was. So that was a 48-second time there. Let's go back and do this again. Let's simulate actually pulling or using the fire extinguisher. Remember in the lesson I taught you the pass method. So now that you see it on a real extinguisher, you pull the pin, you aim the nozzle at the base or the seat of the fire, you squeeze the trigger, which that sound is the sound of simulated dry chemical, and you sweep back and forth. So pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. So what I'm going to do is let's try it. We're going to try it out a couple different times and try maybe some different settings on the system to see how good of a firefighter or how good we are at using the extinguisher simulator. So, I'm going to start the fire. Alright, someone's alerted me there is a fire. So I take my extinguisher, pull the pin, drop the pin, aim the extinguisher at the bottom or the base of the fire, squeeze the trigger, and sweep. Went out pretty fast. I'll get my pin here. That was about 16 seconds. Now, let's try a little harder fire. Alright, here I go. Alright, someone says there's a fire, so I get my extinguisher. I pull the pin, aim, squeeze, and sweep. A little bit harder, a little bit bigger fire. That was about 10 seconds. Now let's demonstrate something. A few improper techniques. The good thing about this simulator is you can start a fire over and over again and try different things, different techniques. Let's try some what-if scenarios. Let's put it back on an easy fire. Alright. What happens if I don't aim at the base of the fire? Well, here's what happens. See how fire has fingers that come out? Let's aim at the top. It might, as you can see, it kind of knocks it back a little bit. But I'm not putting the fire out. But see, when I aim toward the bottom of the fire, it goes out. Let's try another one. Let's try a different scenario. Let's try to, alright, there's the fire. Let's try to sweep too fast and see what happens. I can't get it to go out. Oh no, it's not going out. And it sounds like my extinguisher is going out. Oh no, I think I've run out of dry chemical. What happens if you run out of dry chemical or you run out of extinguisher and the fire's still going? Do I go grab another extinguisher or do I get out? And if you remember in the lesson on the PowerPoint, if you cannot put the fire out with one extinguisher or the fire continues to grow like it is here, excuse me, you need to leave the area immediately and notify the fire department. The last thing you want to do is try to extinguish a fire or a room or something that's on fire. If you can't use one extinguisher on the fire, then you need to just get out, get away from the area into a safe place. Let's stop it. And let's do it one more time. Let's see how good we are one last time. Actually, let's set it on a higher level and see how good we are. Alright, someone's alerted me there's a fire. I pulled my pin. I come over here. I aim and squeeze and sweep. Wow, that was a little bit harder fire. That still took about 13 seconds. Now, I'm going to try something. If you look on the control module, there's level A, B, and C, and level 1, 2, 3, and 4. The higher the letter and the higher the number, the harder it is to put out the fire. So let's try one with level C and level 4 and see if we can put it out. Alright, someone's loaded me the fire. Pull the pin, aim, squeeze, and sweep. it didn't go out. That means that fire is too big to put out with this one little fire extinguisher. The beauty or the neat thing about this simulator, I don't have it with me, but there is also a 20-pound fire extinguisher that comes with the system. So you can actually, like in an industrial type setting where they have maybe have a bigger fire extinguisher, you could use it on this higher setting. But that goes to show you that there are some fires that this little fire extinguisher just won't put out. So let's get back to the rest of the program, and we'll talk about some applicable codes and standards pertaining to fire extinguishers in commercial buildings. Let's see. Before we do that, let's see if we can try to get this fire to put out. I'm going to change it to an easy fire. Let's act like we got another extinguisher. Let's see what happens. I think we did it. So that's that. Let's go back to the rest of the lecture.